All right, guys, welcome back to another video. Shaman J. Today is the size comparison for the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7. This video is being recorded with the Honor Magic V5, so I hope you enjoy the content. So I'm going to start by opening this up, showing you the device here. This is my mint version that I purchased when the products were first to launch, and it got here today. The recording this video, depending on when you're watching this, the recording this video is July 23rd. Yeah. Okay, July 23rd. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put it next to the Z Flip 6 because this is something that, a lot of people really want to see who's upgrading and you don't have your phone yet. So you do get a bigger display on the outside and the inside. So the phones themselves, when you look at them, the Flip 7 is wider, taller. Yeah, which is a good thing. Also, when you look at these, the Z Flip 7 has an extra microphone hole right there. You can see it right next to the power button right there. It has an extra microphone hole, but it still has the two on the top and the two on the bottom down there, but it has that extra microphone hole right there. So, but pretty much you can see the power button on this one is a little more raised. You can see an indentation on the 6. With the 7, it's not raised, but it's just built a little different. And the power button and everything is in the same spot. Antennas and everything should be the same. Camera modules look like they will be the same, but they're not. You see they're a little thinner on the frames of the camera modules there. But ultimately the same style. Let's see here, let's unlock. You can see the differences in the home screen and everything there. You got a 7 over here and a 6 over here, but it's ultimately you've got a more squared off, boxy look over here because they made the screen to 6.9 inches now instead of 6.7 on the 6. So this is a good thing. You can see the bezels around it are pretty much the same, and it's just a same good looking device. Really like it. Antenna lines are all in the same spot. And it's looking good. This is a 512 gig and this is a 512 gig. So thickness wise, I don't know if you saw that. This is the thinnest foldable release Samsung is saying, and it just kind of comes. It is thinner, by the way. They're not just saying that. It's thinner. You just have to kind of really look for it, and you can really tell since I have a black 512 with a mint 7. A black 6 with a mint 7, and you can see that the mint the 7 is definitely thinner. How they're able to do this is really nice that they're able to make it thinner, a little wider. It's really good. Now, let me show you what thin really looks like because we're going to put it next to the S25 Plus. And you can see just how much bigger it is in the S25 Plus. Again, 6.7 inch display, but it's about the same width as the Plus, man. This is such a nice thing that they've made this phone thinner and they gave it a bigger display. You can see the design here. It's about the same width as the S25 Plus. Yeah, it's just thinner. Yeah, let's put that off to the side. And now let me show you the Galaxy the Galaxy Z Fold 6. Obviously, the Z Fold 6 is shorter, and but if I fold it up, I'll show it to you closed as well. But here it is, open, as you can see. And now let me show it to you closed. You can see what they've done here. And this is for those people. This video is for those people who own one of the phones in this video, and you're upgrading to the 7, or just people who are curious to see what the size differences are. So there you can see how it fares against the Z Fold 6 in thickness and when it's closed and everything. You can see how it would look if it was open here. So now let me show it to you next to the Galaxy S25 Ultra. You can see it's much thinner than the Galaxy S25 Ultra. It's a little bit more narrow, but it still has a 6.9 inch display. And they've done a great job. I mean, you can really see what they're doing here. This is phenomenal. They did make it thinner. It's not as wide as the Ultra either, but it's a little taller, even though they have essentially like the same screen size. It's just going to be a different aspect ratio. Yeah, that's really fire right there. They did a good job on getting this phone so thin. And now let me show it to you next to the Fold 7. You can really check out how thin the Fold 7 is in this demonstration here. Like, man, it's just incredible. The Fold 7 isn't as wide when it's folded like this. Obviously, the Fold 7 is thinner when you open it up, but you can kind of get a sense of just how thin the Z Flip 7 is. It's incredible what they've done with these phones this year. Now, let me show you both of them closed here. You can see just how thin the Flip 7 is. And the Fold 7 obviously is just ridiculously thin. I don't need to really open it up. You can see just each slab, it's separated right here. You can see how thin the Fold 7 is. Now let me show you the thinnest phone I have, slab phone I have is from Samsung, and it's the Edge. So just imagine the Edge in a folding form factor. And this ultimately is what you're getting with the Z Flip 7. I mean, this is a thin phone, and video never really does it justice when you're looking at things like this. But this is impressive, man. What they've done with the Flip 7, and you can get a better representation of it looking at the USB port here. Now, the USB port on the Edge is kind of more towards the back side of the phone, but just kind of take a look at this next to the Edge. I can hold a steady hand here. This phone is thin. Now, look at it next to the USB port next to the Ultra. Gives you some sense, again, just what they've done with the hardware and design. Impressive, right? Now, let me show you again next to the S25 Plus. Take a look at the USB port here. These improvements, sometimes you have to look at it a certain way or check out this view of it to see just how thick or thin a device might possibly be. Now let me show it to you next to the Flip 6's USB port. You can kind of gauge just how much improvement they've done. Impressive. You can't tell me this. The upgrades and changes that they've done in the hardware are really impressive. And I think if you're a person who's in a slab phone, and here's the last one is the Z Fold 6 here. You can see just how thick or thin from the USB point of view. Type-C. So, depending on who you are and depending on what you're going to be doing with these phones, you've got a lot to work with this year from Samsung. And I'll be talking about it in another video, but, you just get ready for your S26 Ultras and all these other phones to be the next versions of these Edge phones. So today's video sponsor is Ringke. So today we're going to go ahead and put on some protective film here on the screen, on the glass. And I showed you another video, if you haven't seen it, with the cases and everything from Ringke. But today we're going to go ahead and put on some glass protectors for the camera lens. And people always say, well, why do you put those on? I like them, man. I wouldn't put them on if I didn't like them. I like protection in any way possible. And they're very simple and easy. They're those quick things that you can just put on here. This is a 2-pack, obviously, and you can see here how it's going to go. So you'll put it on like that. Again, another 2-pack. I'll get another set there. And then you have your instruction manual. You've got a microfiber cleaning cloth. Ringke always comes through with things like that. And you've got a wet wipe situation going on here. So I'm gonna clean this up here. Let me pause and just grab because this phone is still fairly new, so I'm gonna just grab a dust removal tool to clean it off, and then I'll pop these screen protectors on here. All right, let's get this. This is really all you need to do. This is all you'll need to do. If your phone is new, you can clean it if you want to. I just pretty much cleaned it like that. Make sure there's nothing on there. And get the dust removal tool on there like that. And then I'll peel this off. And this has to be the simplest install you'll ever do on a phone. And you drop them down. Just drop them on top. That's it. Now, when you're installing screen protector, and we know what this is by now, I've showed you what this is. This is if you want to take these off. Now, when you're installing something like this, you want to make sure you let it adhere for at least 24 hours without because in my other video, I accidentally lifted it too soon, and I was taking things in and off of the cases on and off of the Z Fold 7, and it kind of lifted a little bit. But nonetheless, this portion right here will come off. But just make sure if you're going to do these, just like that, folks, make sure you leave it on there. Let it adhere for about 24 hours before you get really deep into messing with the area. Other than that, folks, I have a link in the description to these, to all the Rinky cases and the Rinky glass protectors for your camera, because there are people out there who actually love to buy these products. I'm one of them. I've been buying them for years. But anyway, size comparison for the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7. Is it as thin as you thought it was going to be? Or, is the hardware good enough for you at this point? Pretty much you have a slab phone that folds. That's ultimately what you have. You have a huge slab phone that folds. And this, my friends, if I can get in the view there, this is what a lot of people really want. That folding phone that's ginormous. That's beautiful. Let's clean it up one more time before we get out of here. Use the link in the description if you haven't purchased your very own Z Flip 7 or Fold 7 or any of the latest products from the Galaxy Unpacked. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care.